I'll be your partner. So from a simple,
or should be paid a lot more money, but then they arrive late. Money if you're not even doing, if you're not even meeting the minimum requirements. So no, that's yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
that's real. When did you realize that you were working hard for money?
Mm.
And the second part of that, what was the first thing that you did in your mind, either your mindset, to change that perception and make money work hard for you?
Yeah, 2010, man. I remember 2010. I threw myself a retirement party to retire from banking. I just turned 30, or I was about to turn 30, and so I was quote unquote famous because I already had like Black Enterprise did some stuff on me. I was on, Hot 97. I had a column in a magazine, so I already had some resemblance of notoriety, and I just thought that fame equals money, and so once I retired from banking, and started to write books and things of that nature, I was realizing that the money wasn't coming fast enough, that I wasn't able to meet my basic necessities. And I was like, man, like I thought that the money was going to come fast, and um, it didn't come fast. And in fact, I almost lost my home, almost went through foreclosure, almost got my car repossessed. So there was a lot going on around that time. I mean, that's when the light bulb hit. Was like, bro, you're doing it wrong. You're working hard for money, but money needs to work hard for you. And so that, I think it started with the thought process of like, yo, I need to create more passive income where I don't physically have to be involved in order to get paid. And then, the first thing I did was I went back to work. And as I started making money, instead of using that money to buy things, I was using that money to buy assets. And real estate was one of those assets that, allowed, me to, create, passive income by renting out my asset. And then that's just been my goal. That's why I have 10 books. That's why, I invest these things that I do to make sure that any money that I do work for I'm not working because I have to work for it. It's just because I love what I do and the money's coming. And then once that money does come, how do I multiply that money by investing it in assets? And so that was the mindset shift. And that's the thing that I had to do.
Hmm. And for the people that you coach, because you said you went back to work, like
Yeah.
you could have said, no, I'm not going back to work, like I'm a personality or such and such.
Mm,
A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. That's not
yeah.
that's not a new phenomenon. So what would you tell someone who's maybe living paycheck to paycheck or meeting the minimum requirements? What would you do to help them change their mindset about money?
Yeah, so number one, somebody who's living paycheck to paycheck, I would tell them that they have to do a reassessment. They have to assess their life because if you're living paycheck to paycheck, that's the worst place you could be. You know why? Because if you lose that source of income, you're homeless, right? You lose that source of income, you're bankrupt. You lose that source of income, your credit is done. And so that is the worst space that you could be. Like you're actually worse off than somebody who doesn't have a job, right? Because somebody who doesn't have a job, there's nothing that they could lose. There's nothing that they have to maintain, right? So anything that they get is up, right? But somebody who's living paycheck to paycheck is like, like I see the comment, financial suicide. That's exactly what that is, right?
True.
That's financial suicide because you're one mistake away, you're one shutdown away, you're one pandemic away. Like that's not a place to be. And so for that person, I would say act as if. Right, I would say act as if, like what would you do if you didn't have a job, right? What if you, right? What are you cutting back on? How do you get, right? How do you get, to a space where you are forcing yourself to save some money so that you can invest that money, right? And because even when I decided to go back to work, when I went back to work, I started using that money to get an asset. That asset started paying me not all of my income, but it paid me a little bit of income. So now I was like, you know what? I don't need a six-figure job no more. You know what? I'm going to quit this six-figure job because I'm giving too much time to it. Maybe I need $50,000. So let me quit this six-figure job now that I have an asset that's paying me. Let me take this $50,000 job. And now that $50,000 with my asset buys me back some time. And so now I could keep building, right? And so what I'm saying is, you treat yourself that way. Demote yourself from a living perspective. Maybe you have to go move in with somebody. Maybe you have to, lower your expenses, whatever you have to do temporarily to get that, to get some breathing room within your, your space. Use that money that you got from the breathing room to now start investing in assets. And then as the asset starts to grow, right, now you can potentially go back to your lifestyle or whatever, but you have to, get a hold of that immediately.
Okay, great advice. For the people watching, if ever you want to ask Ash a question, you can write your question in the little box with the question mark, and if we have time a little bit, we'll take a few questions, and if he's okay with it, he'll answer a few of them. I want to read you a quote, and then I want to get your perspective on it. I'm not going to tell you who wrote it, but I'm just going to read it to you, and I just want you to tell me if you agree or not, and if you disagree, let us know why.
Yes, sir.
It is not logical for you in this day and age to still be living someone else's blueprint. You are you, and that will be true for eternity. Stop auditioning for your part in life and simply write the script and play your role.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. And the reason why I agree with it is because out of the 107 billion, right? There's been 107 billion people who have lived on this earth as human beings. Not one of them had the same DNA. Not one of them had the same fingerprint. Like, everybody has been different. And what happens is that, a lot of us are watching other people trying to be them, trying to, do what they do, trying to accomplish what they've accomplished. But at the end of the day, we have our own destiny. We have our own path that we create, actually, right? God is not telling us which way to go. We have a blank piece of paper, and we write the story. We decide, where we want to go. And so I agree. I think that there's too many people, trying to fit in when we were born to stand out.
Yes, true. And just for sharing purposes, the author wrote that September 24th, 2013, and his name is AshCash.
Hey,
just to let
you. Hey.
I wanted to ask you about something that you mentioned. You said that it could be possible that if we're trying to help others, we could be hurting them if it's not their time.
Yeah.
Can you break that down for us with the analogy that you had given?
Yeah. The best analogy to that is the caterpillar that's becoming a butterfly, right? The best analogy. You know why? Because when you see a caterpillar, in order for the caterpillar to become a butterfly, it has to break through the chrysalis. But there's something happening that we don't realize that's happening as the caterpillar is breaking through the chrysalis. What's happening is that the butterfly is strengthening its wings. And so at each resistance, each time that the caterpillar is flapping the wings and it's trying to get out of the chrysalis and it can't get out of the chrysalis, it's building strength. And then once it builds up enough strength that is strong enough to break through the chrysalis, that's when it leaves the cocoon and it becomes a butterfly. What happens, though, if somebody with their nice heart who is like, man, I want to help, I want to save the world, I want to help, and they see the caterpillar straining, they see the caterpillar struggling, they see the caterpillar, trying to break out of the chrysalis, and they take a piece of scissors and they rip through the chrysalis on both sides, the caterpillar is going to die, and it's never going to maximize its full potential. It's never going to become that beautiful butterfly, because what we don't realize was the chrysalis was protecting the caterpillar. Without the chrysalis, the caterpillar is going to die. But in order for it to get out of that shell, before it could get out of the shell, it has to build this strength. So if you cut it before it builds this strength, you have now killed the caterpillar thinking that you're helping. And so that happens to us all the time in life, where we see somebody struggling, we see somebody going through some things, and we try to help them before it's time, where at the end of the day, when we are helping them, we're not allowing them to go through the lessons that they're going to go through, right? Imagine, I have a 13-year-old and I have a 6-year-old. Like, I need my daughter to make mistakes. I need my son to make mistakes, because at the end of the day, it is those mistakes, right? I'm not going to let any mistakes happen that are detrimental, but at the same time, they got to stub their toe, because it is in those mistakes, it is in that adversity, it is in the obstacles that they become stronger. And so a lot of us are trying to be heroes, and I get it. We want to be heroes because we wish somebody was there for us, right? And so while we were struggling, we were like, yo, this was the darkest time in my life. I wish somebody was here to help us. The truth of the matter is that darkness is what making you bright, shine bright right now. And so who are you? Who are you to take away somebody's ability to shine bright by trying to be their savior? And so sometimes we have to, and we got to use discernment, because sometimes, we're going to be called to help people, but sometimes we're not called to help people. Sometimes we're supposed to, allow people to go through their struggle.
Yes, I was about to follow up saying, okay, but how do you defer? But then you said we need to use discernment, and this is the key to everything.
Yeah.
I spoke about it a little bit when we began. You made the live today, and you said you made a list of 9 things that we need to do for the next 100 days, right? And for those who missed it, I'm just gonna go over the list real quick. Anyways, we can post the list a little bit later. So make a commitment to wake up earlier. Make a commitment to exercise daily. Make a commitment to improve your health. Make a commitment to drink more water. Make a commitment to love yourself and or your partner daily. Make a commitment to set aside time to spend with those you love. Focus on your one thing. Make 3 offers per day for your products or services, and organize your finances. I was watching this morning. I was hyped. I took notes. And then 2 things came to my mind. Well, actually 2 questions that I got out of that. You are a financial motivator, right? It's no secret. But then I look at the list, and finances are at the bottom, at the very end.
Oh. Yeah,
So,
ask the question. I'm sorry. I just know where you're going. I know where you're going with it, and the answer's spicy. So my fault.
Give the answer. It's all good. But
I was just double dutching. I like the in the hood double dutching. My ooze was just me ready to jump in. But yeah, my fault. Go ahead.
But that's good. But that's the question. Finances are at the bottom. So why is that? Why did you put finances at the bottom, or why do finances find themselves at the bottom? Usually, some people would have been like, yeah, fine, you need to organize your finances first, and then blah, 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 and maybe take care of your health. But the first thing, one of the top things is like waking up early, exercising daily, eating habits, water.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah, because those are the things that get you to finances. A lot of us don't understand money. And so we think that if we focus on money, then everything else is going to fall into place. But it's actually the opposite, right? One of my favorite people that I follow, rest in peace, is Reverend Ike. Reverend Ike was a prosperity preacher. He talks about abundance being your birthright. And he broke down 6 ways, right? He said good health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money, right? And so he says if you follow those things, right? If you first have good health, right? Then you focus on happiness, being happy. Then you focus on love. Then success comes. Then prosperity comes, and the money comes after it. And so it's similar to, like, you can't when I'm married now, but when I was younger, the OGs would always say to you that you'll never lose money. Right. I mean, or you'll never lose women chasing money, but you'll lose money chasing women. Right. And why is that? It's because, my OGs would say that, if you focus on getting the money, then the women will come. Right. But it's the same thing. It's like the opposite. If you want money to chase you, then you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined in your mind. You have to be disciplined in your health. You have to be disciplined with your loved ones. You have to be disciplined in your relationships. So all these things. So I'll give you even one better. The same discipline it takes you to um, keep a great physique from a body perspective is the same discipline you need with your money, right? And so pushing through the pain and doing the routines, doing the things over and over, eating right, drinking water, like all of these things are necessary to focus on your finances. And so if you focus on finance first without the proper foundation, even if you get the money, you're not going to keep it. So,
Yeah.
so for the next 100 days, I need you to wake up early. Get disciplined to wake up early. I need you to pray and meditate. I need you to focus on your health and exercise daily. I need you to drink more water. I need you to, be healthy by eating the right things for your body. I need you to focus on loving yourself and your loved ones. Like, I need you to set aside time for your loved ones, right? I need you to focus on your one thing, because that one thing is what's going to allow you to live the best possible life that you can live, right? I need you to do all of that, right? I need you to make 3 offers, because at the end of the day, your products or services are your purpose in life, right? If you are doing the one thing that you're supposed to be doing, people need to hear what you're offering. So you need to be offering your products and services. And then once you do that, how is the money not going to come? Yeah.
True. Oh man. All right. Listen, I think you've answered it as clearly as clear as day. There's no ifs or maybe. The last thing, though, or maybe the last question that I have, and then maybe if we have any other questions from the viewers, we'll ask the questions. Actually, 2 questions. Waleed, one of an entrepreneur that's located in New York City, I interviewed him, and he said something. He said, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to start a business, get a plant, because entrepreneurship is similar to having a plant. You have the plant, but it doesn't come with any instructions. So you have to make sure that you water it right, that you take care of it, that it has a proper daylight. Do you agree with that, or that analogy?
100%. It's funny because I got a plant right this. As you start saying that, I was like, wait, hold on. I
Let me get
watered
some
that
water.
plant, right? Let me get some water. I agree with that 100%. I agree with
Yes.
that 100% because and that's a great analogy. Fast shot to Waleed, because it's true, right? Is that when you get the plant, if you give it too much water, you may drown it, right? If you don't give it enough water, you might drown it. If you give it too much sunlight, you might mess it, right? So you have to learn your plant, right? You have to learn your plant. And that's exactly what entrepreneurship is like, because there is no manual. Even for the entrepreneurs that have been entrepreneurs before, right? Like I've been an entrepreneur, going on 12 years, and I'm still learning stuff every day, right? Some of my mentors are younger than me. Some of my young mentors have only been entrepreneurs for 2-3 years, and I'm still learning from them, right? Because things change, right? And so I'm never too big. I'm never too egotistical to know that I can learn from everybody else. And so because things change, I have to make sure that I'm learning based on the environment, right? If I have a tree, if I have a plant, and right now it's getting enough sun, but then somebody builds a building that blocks the sun, now I got to make a different decision. I can't just leave the plant there and just leave it alone, because it's going to die. So I need to figure out, all right, how do I get it more sun? Do I take the plant out and put it in a different environment? Because sometimes your environment is what's holding you back. So I may have to take that plant, put it in a different environment so the sun could hit it, so it could grow, right? And so I agree with that. Like, you have to make sure that you're just not leaving your business there or leaving your dreams there, that you're constantly watering it. If you gave it too much water, maybe you're like, all right, this time I'm not going to give it. I'm going to give it a little more. But you have to be conscious. You have to be intentional. You have to be focused on that plant to know what is the right thing for that plant at that moment, though.
Yes.
Right? Because
Yes.
think about this. When you first planted the plant, maybe a cup of water was enough. But then as the plant starts growing, maybe you got to give it a gallon. Maybe it needs more. And so a lot of times we're so stuck on how it used to work, when the mindset that it took you to go from 4 figures to 5 figures, you need a different mindset. From taking you from 5 figures to 6 figures, you need a different mindset. To go to 7 to 8, you need a different mindset. And so at each step of the road, you have to make sure that you're giving what your business, your dream, your aspiration, whatever, you're going to give it what it needs at that moment. What level is it in?
I'm gonna let it breathe a little bit. You gotta let it breathe. Can you break down? Last question. After we'll take a few questions from the viewers. Can you break down the acronym CASH
Mm.
to create financial freedom?
Yeah. So you taking me back to my TED talk, man. You did your research. Man. So cash. Give me the first one. Cash is
Change your relationship with money.
Yeah, all right, got you. So, yeah, so I did a TED talk back in.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's from there. So cash. C
Or
is.
do you want me to tell you all the acronym, and then afterwards you can.
I think I got it. I think it's change your relationship with money, right? So instead of working hard for money, money needs to work hard for you.
Yes.
A is acquire. What was A? What's A again?
I'll say the first word, act. Act your wage.
Oh, act your wage, not your one size. All right. So A is to act your wage, not your one size. So make sure that you're acting based on what you are, act your wage, not your one size, is to make sure that you are not living above your means, right? So you might want certain things, but you have to make sure that you're acting your wage based on what you have right now. S is save and invest for your now and your future. And so as you're saving for your now and your future, you have to save some money, but saving doesn't make us rich. We have to, make sure that we're investing, because it's the investments that's going to create financial freedom. And then lastly, H is to help your community. In order to get to that next level in life, you have to make sure you're giving back to who gave to you. And so always make sure that now that you have this level of financial abundance, that you're helping your community, whether it's your immediate community, whether it's your larger community, whatever community has helped you get to where you are, make sure you're giving back.
Yes. All right.
Oh, you almost stumped me there. Yeah. You almost stumped me there. I was like, man, it's all good.
I was going to throw you the alley hoop, so that's why I wrote them down just in case. It's all good.
I appreciate you.
Let me take a few questions. All right. So this question is from Be True to Oneself. How do you believe when you cannot see how you are going? Oh, hold on. Yeah, how are you going to?
I love that. That's the definition of faith. The definition of faith is to believe when you don't see. That's the definition. And so you have to strengthen your faith. If you have to see it in order to believe it, then you don't really have faith. And so you have to strengthen your faith. And you strengthen your faith, pray, meditate. If that doesn't work, as it should, but if that doesn't work, make sure you're finding other people who have a similar background, a similar circumstance that has overcome the things that you think you can't overcome. Because that helped me when I started to expand my mind, and I started to look up to certain people, and then I started digging into their story. I said, oh, everybody has the same story. Everybody's been through something. Everybody has some level of adversity. Everybody has a level of struggle that they have to overcome. And so at the end of the day, if you need to see it, I know what God has promised, what the Most High has promised me. And so because I know what the Most High has promised, I don't worry at all, right? I don't need to see it. I just have that belief system, and I have that faith in God, but then I have that faith in myself, right? Because God gives us free will. And so at the end of the day, one thing, a practical tip I would say too, is maybe don't start as big, start small, right? Try to like today, right now, right? Try to manifest $10, right? It might not be much for you. It might not be much. You might have $100, but start putting in your head $10. Say to yourself, I'm going to manifest $10. I'm going to manifest $10. I'm going to manifest $10, right? Keep saying it to yourself until you believe that you're going to manifest $10, and just see if that works. See if the only thing you focus on today was $10, see if an extra $10 doesn't come to your existence, right? In some way, shape, form, or fashion, right? Then once you do that, try to manifest something else. Manifest, think about somebody that you knew that you ain't speak to in a long time, right? And keep them in your brain. Keep thinking about them, and see Whether they pop up or somebody talks to you about them or you see something that reminds you of them, just do that. Because a lot of times people are trying to manifest where they haven't manifested anything, right? And so start small maybe. And then once you get to that level, that's gonna build your belief system. Like I am a master manifester. Like I talk about something, and in 2-3 days, good or bad though too. So be careful, because I manifest the bad stuff too, right? I start thinking about something bad, and then I manifest very quickly. I start thinking about something good, I manifest very quickly. So I'm very clear and very conscious of what I feed my body, feed my system, feed my mind, because I can manifestation works both ways. I know people only talk about manifestation when it's good, but it actually works both ways. And I'm a testament that I've been able to do both. And so yeah, just really start small. And then once you start to prove that you could manifest yourself, then get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because the truth of the matter, there is no big or small. I'm using those terms because that's the term that we know. But the same energy it takes to manifest 1 million is the same energy it's going to take to manifest that 10. You just got to keep saying it to yourself and believe it.
Yes. All right. I'll take 2 more questions. So everyone talks about serving with purpose. How do you find yours, and how does it guide you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that find the thing that you would do if you had all the money in the world. I always start with that. I always say, if you had $10 million right now in your bank account, you traveled all over the world, you had all the cars, you had all the clothes, you got all that stuff out the way, you paid your mama bills off, your daddy bills off, your family, everybody's taken care of. And after you took care of everybody, you have $10 million in your bank account. You got an investment that's paying you, passive income, so you don't have to work for money at all, right? Money is taken care of. What would you be doing with your time? Ask yourself that question. What would you be doing with your time? And then the answer to that might not be your purpose, but it will lead you there, right? So for me, I asked myself that. I said, man, if I had all the money in the world, I didn't have to work, blah, blah, what would I be doing? All right, I'll be inspiring and motivating, right? Like I said, man, there's so, like, I realize my greatness, but there's so many great people out there that don't even know that they're great. And so what would I be doing? You know what? I would be teaching other people to tap into their greatness. And so I started to do that, right? I started actually not even do it. I started to be that, because that's the other thing. Other thing is that people start to believe that it is their doing that their purpose is a doing, but your purpose is actually not a doing. Your purpose is a being. Like, who are you in your being, right? Like, I am inspiration and motivation. I don't do inspiration and motivation. That's who I am. I'll give you a quick example. I was playing basketball. I tore my Achilles. I partially tore my Achilles. I was in a boot for 6 weeks, and then I went to physical therapy. I'm in physical therapy the other day. I'm flexing my, I'm doing what the physical therapist is telling me to do. And there's this young, I call everybody young lady, but she's an older lady. She had to be in her 70s maybe. And she's going through physical therapy, and she's on the bike. And she starts going, but she's talking to herself. She's like, you got this. You could tell she's tired, but she's talking to herself. And I looked at her. I said, yo, you got that. That's easy. And then she looked at me, and then she just kept going. She kept going. And so when she was done, I said, you see? And she said, thank you, coach. Right? I didn't introduce myself. I didn't tell her who I was. None of that. I gave her one word. I gave her my energy, and I gave her my word, and that motivated her to keep going. And she said, thank you, coach, because I don't do motivation. That's just who I am. Any place I walk into, you know that I'm there, because I am inspiration, motivation. And so I say that to say is that your purpose is not something you're going to do. It's like, who will you become when all of your bills are paid? Who will you become when you don't have to work for money? And then once you become that, then it's going to lead you to what you should be doing every single day of your life.
Amazing. Listen, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure,
I know you're a busy man, and I really appreciate your time and all the jewels and all the gems that you drop. And for everyone watching, it will be saved on my IGTV. So if you want to rewatch it, take notes, get the list from what we need to do for the next 100 days. Do that. Stay motivated. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to tell us before we leave the live.
Nah, brother, yo, I appreciate you, man. This was one of the best interviews I've had. Your questions are dope. Yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing, and I thank you for the platform. Thank you for having me. I would just tell everybody, man, just be greatness, greatness on display. It is your responsibility, right? It's not a, I'm gonna give you just one last analogy, right? Last analogy. When you order something from Amazon, you expect, right? You expect that your package is going to come at the time that Amazon said that package is going to come, right? So there's right now somebody who has prayed to God, prayed to whatever they believed in, and they asked for something, and you are the person that is supposed to deliver that package. Stop holding on to the package because you don't like how the package look. Stop holding on to it because you're tired. Stop holding on to the package because you want to get more ready. At the end of the day, you have a responsibility. The Amazon driver cannot hold up my package because they feel like it. I paid for it, and I know that package is on its way. So come run me my package. So right now, you got a gift. You got a package for somebody, and they waiting for you. They're waiting for you to deliver their package. So stop being selfish. Stop holding on to other people's package and give the gift away. You are greatness on display.
With that being said, thank you very much. This was amazing, and we're looking forward to see more content from you, man.
All right, appreciate you, King.
Thank you very much, man. Take care.
All right, peace.
Everyone, take it easy. Back to work for those who are watching from work. Peace out.